You attack me without a weapon. Why?
I love this show. It's so good. No joke. Like, look, we've all seen The Fall of the Jedi a lot, but this is really like what's going on when the Jedi have no threats.
Yeah.
And what's going on in the universe.
Yeah.
Leslye, you've been a part of the Star Wars fandom for such a long time. How did your love of the expanded universe help shape Acolyte?
Oh, that's such a good question. I feel like I can't answer it without giving a couple things away. So what I would say is there were so many things that I read about or thought about over the years that if I were ever allowed to make a Star Wars show or movie or anything, write a book, like whatever they would let me do, that I thought, gosh, it would be so cool to take this from Legends or take this from canon into live action. So I guess I can't answer it directly, but it's just been little Easter eggs I've been crossing my fingers to get the chance to use.
Right. Now, Amandla, I don't want to spoil anything, but can you talk to me about the duality of your performance in this show?
Yeah. Okay, if we're not spoiling, then I'll talk more conceptually. But Star Wars, of course, is about the balance of light and dark, and the relationship between light and dark, And I don't think that relationship is purely just oppositional. I think it's so much more complex than that, and that was inspired so much by Eastern philosophy, and that's been a huge part of the legacy of Star Wars, is this concept of yin and yang, and I think Leslye wrote from that place, and when I thought about physically embodying that, it was a huge North Star for me.
Incredible. Leslye, speaking of the balance of the Force, how does your understanding of the Force being balanced kind of play out in Acolyte, and how will that contribute to the larger discussion of the Force?
That's a really good question. I actually was thinking about a version of that when Amandla was giving her answer, that there is this flux in her performance between good and bad and a constant trying to balance two ends of the spectrum, if you will. I think that exists in all of us. I just think that when you watch a Star Wars piece of media, it's usually embodied by certain characters or plot points or themes. But I think inside all of us is that level of duality, that imbalance or balance. So I would say if you keep watching the show, you keep watching people go from balanced to imbalanced rather than from good to bad. You see, I think with every bad, there's a little bit of, no one's all bad or all good. There's always a little bit of bad in the good and a little bit of good in the bad. And I think it's all about going up and down that spectrum for these characters. So don't draw too many conclusions about people until you finish the season.
Absolutely. Now, like we were talking about Eastern culture just a second ago, and I know that the lightsabers and the Jedi are really based on samurais, but we dive a little bit deeper into Eastern culture with the fight scenes in this that we haven't really seen in Star Wars. Can you talk about, because all the fight scenes that we've seen, they almost have a different fighting style depending on who your adversary is. Can you talk about training for that, and what stunt are you most proud of in this show?
Oh, that's such a great question. Yeah, well, I mean, when Leslye and I, when Leslye first presented this project to me, we discovered that we have a lot of the same favorite movies, including Kill Bill.
Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yep.
Seven Samurai, and Donnie Darko, but I just have to throw that one out there because we love Donnie Darko so much, and Leslye has a tattoo.
Absolutely.
Got Frank over here.
And I'm thinking about getting a tattoo. I have a huge poster in my room, like above my bed. But anyways, yeah. So that like Eastern impact in terms of martial arts and kung fu was a huge part of the show, and I trained with my master Liu, Jiancheng Liu, and he was incredibly patient and kind with me, and it was such a deeply rewarding, enjoyable experience. I learned so much about myself, and I think that it just really befits the tone of the show very well. It's a very definitive part of the show.
Absolutely.
I will say that when you get to episode 5 too, there's a lot of we mix it up. There's one fight that I was thinking specifically that you have that is a hand combat that's very down and dirty.
Oh,
that's
yes,
scrappy, if you will.
My favorite. I don't want to say too much, but the stunt that I'm the proudest of, the sequence that I'm the proudest of, is a girl fight.
Oh,
that
I'm
gets
excited.
gnarly. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Look, like I told you, I've seen the episodes that we have twice. The show's absolutely incredible, and every time I watch it, I have a new theory of what's happening. So I have my own like fan theories that we'll share later.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
I didn't do it! Believe me!